Welcome to another episode of Hoops and Gems. This is episode 26. I want to thank you guys for joining us as usual, especially all of our regular users that come on week in and week out, and our new users as well. Welcome. We had another great show planned as usual. We have three great guests coming on tonight, and we're going to start off with Coach Coley Shelwick from Loyola Chicago University. Definitely one of the high academic schools. As you guys know, I actually didn't know Loyola was high academic, but it fits my bill, Coach, because I'm very big on the educational standpoint for student athletes, whether it's Division I, Division II, or Division III. So it fits right in. We've actually had the assistant coach from Rice on the men's side. We've had the assistant coach from Furman on. So you fit right into our listeners by being on the show. And I want to thank you for coming on again. So we're going to get right into it, Coach. Tell us something about Loyola Chicago.
Yeah, Loyola University Chicago. It is literally in the heart of the city. And it's an amazing location. We're in the city, but as soon as you get on campus, the way the buildings are built, the sound is tuned out. And it has that Midwest feel on campus, but then you get that city as soon as you walk off. So I like to say it's truly a balance of the best of both worlds. And outside of the city and the location and, a beach being on our campus as well, it's beautiful. The campus is truly beautiful. What you see on the website is what you're going to see in person. And that's one of the things I feel like we're truly a hidden gem in Chicago, because once we get young women on our campus, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. And that's why, I'm a part of the program now. And that's why the staff is here and put together so that we can kind of change the narrative around what Loyola University Chicago is.
Okay, nice. And as you were saying earlier, Loyola Chicago is part of the Missouri Valley Conference, right?
Yes, we're part of MVC.
And the MVC, as we know, I put that up there with the MAC and a bunch of the other really good mid-major conferences. They turn out some really good players as well.
Absolutely. We last season during the COVID year, we were ranked, I think, 6th in terms of overall conferences, in terms of power between the top and the lowest team in the conference. The Missouri Valley Conference is probably one of your best mid-major conferences out there.
So you guys, as we know, you get an automatic bid, and I'm assuming you get a WNIT bid as well, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Do they also there's a third tournament on the women's
WBI.
side? Yeah. Do they get that as well?
Yes, and we made it to the WBI last year. So last year was our first postseason appearance in the MVC.
Oh, wow.
And then it was also our first postseason appearance in the WBI. So definitely, changing the narrative here, definitely getting better and better every single year, and ready to definitely be more consistent and be consistent every year to compete and make it to postseason.
And as you know, that's big. That's really big for recruitment. I mean, you guys got an advantage by being in the heart of Chicago, of course. Mm-hmm. But, like you said, with the program building and, everybody knows the name Loyola Chicago, and the building on the women's side, it's just a matter of time.
Yes, it's right there. It's at our fingertips.
Coach, how long have you been at Loyola Chicago?
It has been almost 3 months.
So you're a new hire. Okay.
Yes, I'm a new hire. I made the jump from NAI. I was an NAI head coach in Indiana. And this is my 11th, going into my 11th season. I've been at every single level: Division III, Division II, NAI, junior college, and finally made the transition to Division I with Coach Kate here at Loyola. So fairly new, but I hopped right in during the recruiting trail. So I jumped right in. It was a great introduction to the institution and just the program.
Oh, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
So one of our loyal listeners, Coach Mandeldove, he's part of Winston. It's one of the post-grad schools as well as the prep schools over in the NetSAC. He has a question for you. What style
Absolutely.
of play? What's the style of play for Loyola Chicago?
Yeah, so obviously you want to be up tempo but under control.
Hmm.
Coach runs a ball screening type offense that you can do a ton out of, and
Okay.
so you've got to be able to make those reads, be able to react to what the defense is doing. But it's a fun style of basketball. It can be high scoring when we're on, and definitely high energy and electric for people that are in the stands. Defensively, we're all over. It's definitely one of the reasons why we were able to make postseason play this past season was because of our defense ability, and the team just coming together to put in that extra work. And so transition, mid range, finishing at the rim, that's coach's three things that she wants to see happen every game. And if we're doing those, we're probably going to win.
Okay. So you just said a tidbit that's music to my ears, and
Okay.
that leads into one of my many questions for you. You said you're big on defense. So do you
Mhm.
guys play man, zone, or what's your style?
Yes, we play man defense, more of a help the helper defense,
Okay.
which is again, it's a true team defense. When your team
Absolutely.
doesn't, if one person fails in it, it's going to fail.
Correct.
And I think that the beauty behind that and pushing that defensively in our program, it forces that teamwork on the offensive side of the ball as well, and then it
Yes.
just trickles off the court too. This team that, and I've been doing this for a long time, and this is my first year here. I know I'm 3 months in. I'm only going to
Mhm.
speak on what I really have seen and what I know. This is
Okay.
the best team chemistry that I've ever seen in any of the programs that I've been a part of.
Okay.
And that is a testament to what coach is doing here. But I think it just feeds off of how we play on the court. It actually trickles into their own personal lives as well.
Nice. I agree with that as
Mhm.
well. Definitely have a couple more questions, but before I get into my question, Coach Dove has another question for you as
I like
well,
it.
and it makes sense as well what he's asking. So, since the NEPSAC lead over, you're familiar with the NEPSAC on the East Coast, right?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, the NEPSAC turns out a lot of high academic kids,
Mhm.
and he wants to know: do you recruit the NEPSAC league at all? Because he's the girls' coach there.
Okay, so we would love to make a partnership to make that happen as soon as possible.
Okay.
We're trying to all of us. It's actually a fairly young staff. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
I'm old as in veteran as in terms of how many years I've been in the game, but
Mhm.
obviously 3 months in here at Loyola. We just had another assistant join our program. She's fairly new. And another assistant who has been here for just this is her second year as an assistant coach, but been with the program for 6 years.
So
Um,
basically, you're creating that culture, right?
yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So I know about it, but have we recruited from it specifically to Loyola? I'm not really sure yet, but I definitely want to make that connection so that we can do that. So if I get anything from today, reach out to me so that we can start recruiting those young women and getting them here to Chicago.
Absolutely. And it's funny you just said that. Slow down, Dove. Slow down. I'll make sure she gets in contact with you. I promise I'll make sure of that. But just getting into Loyola, I mean, as we were talking before the show started, I mean, you definitely dropped some knowledge on me with Loyola being high academic. And
Mhm.
I definitely want to touch that because, as you know, everybody's not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to recruit everybody for that reason alone. So
Yes.
tell me, what do you require to get into Loyola as a student athlete?
So right now, what we're looking for, obviously, is above a 3.0 GPA.
Hmm.
The institution itself is not requiring a SAT or ACT score, even after COVID, which I think is great. But what we're looking for in our student athlete is obviously someone that we feel like can handle the coursework here at Loyola because it is extremely rigorous. And Loyola has another set of rules on top of the NCAA that we
Hmm.
have to follow for our specific student athletes. And
Okay.
because of that, I mean, we're looking at that 3.2, 3.3 range is usually the minimum for
Okay.
our student athletes that come in here. It just shows us that you can handle the coursework and obviously handle the load of being a college basketball player.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can get in. You can get in if you put in the work, and that's my message to all student athletes. Like work hard in your academics, because that degree is going to go with you everywhere and they can't take that from you. And I think that's what Loyola stands for. Like, not only are you going to be a great athlete and we're going to get you to your potential, you're going to graduate with a heck of a good degree and a crazy large network to be able to get good job placement.
Oh boy, you're setting up a bunch of my next questions. Trust me when I tell you that. But I also want to ask another question on what you just spoke about, and we talked about this as well. So Loyola Chicago doesn't really require AP classes for the student athlete to get in, correct?
No, they do not.
Okay.
It's not. I mean, if you had it, that's great, and you can come in with 12 credits, 15, and we have a ton of student athletes that are on our roster now and previously that have came in ahead of the game. And we're all for that, because that means maybe you don't have to take a summer class.
Yes.
But no, it's not required. It's just, diversifying your portfolio in high school, so that you look more attractive to the institution.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. So tell me about the roster that you have for this year, the 2021, 2022 roster.
Yes, I'm coming in a great year, I feel like. The chemistry is amazing. It's the best that I've ever experienced in my coaching in the past 11 seasons. And our roster is a veteran team. And I think that's why I'm loving it so much, because they get it. Coach said something the other day in summer workouts in practice, and she basically said, like, you don't need to be coached as much to our young women. And she's right. They still need coaches, right? Strategy, all that stuff they don't want to think about. That's what we're here for. But when we're in practices, individual workouts, when they're calling for individual workouts, it's just, hey, we're doing this, this, and that. They already know why. They already understand what it means for them if they're putting in this extra work. And so roster wise, it's amazing in terms of the energy, the expectations, and the accountability that they hold with each other.
Yes.
But yeah, we have the reigning Missouri MVC Conference Freshman Player of the Year. She's returning, first ever for Loyola University women's basketball. We've got a first team All-American in Allison Day that's also returning. And she's one of three, I think, in Loyola history. So, I mean, we definitely got a veteran team and some great pieces, and we think we've added some solid freshmen that are coming in, and some transfers that I think will definitely contribute to our program and hopefully take us to historic heights.
Definitely. So one of the next big questions that I'm big on, and especially since you spoke defense, and this is really for, I don't care what division this is, when you're coming out of high school, how important is it to come to Loyola and know the shell drill?
It's like it needs to be the first thing that you know.
Exactly.
Here's my thing is, as a freshman, you're gonna hit a wall eventually.
Sure.
And when you come in, obviously try to come in shape. That's never the first thing I tell all freshmen. But when you come in, you're gonna realize that these young women that you're playing with are just as good or more talented than you. And you'll learn that very quickly. And it might not be athleticism or skill, but it's just experience makes them better.
IQ, yes.
And how can you stand with them defensively? That's how you compete with really skilled, really veteran players, is you get really good defensively, and then everything else will come. And I think if you have that mindset and you understand that, that's the one thing every coach really wants to see. If you can play defense, I might forgive you for missing that layup. Because you'll go back and you'll get it back for us at another time. But it's extremely important because it can help separate you and help keep you where you want to be personally in your goals with the program.
Absolutely. What you just said right there, I will probably clip that portion and play it for people to see again, because that is so important what you just said, especially for freshmen coming in. And you'll agree with this. If you want to earn time, play defense.
Yes.
Play defense. That will get you on the floor, and that will get you some extended minutes if you play defense really well. Like you said, the offense will come, but everybody has in their head, oh, I need to put up 30 when I get in the game. And then they're getting blown by on defense, and then they're wondering why as soon as the buzzer kicks on, you're getting subbed out.
Absolutely. It's a game changer. It also helps, it can help extend, like you said, extend your playing time. Because yeah,
Absolutely.
you might not be doing something in one way or in one role, but defensively you're in a big role. You're helping. Defensively is like the most important thing. Can you defend the best player on the floor? Can
Yeah.
you hold a girl that's averaging 20 points to 15? That's going to make the difference, and that'll get you,
Mhm.
that's a quick way to earn playing time and earn the respect of your teammates, as well
Absolutely.
as your coaches.
Definitely. Definitely. Let me ask you this. So, what type of degrees does Loyola offer?
We have everything. Our campus has 18,000 students,
Okay.
graduate and graduate students. Medical, we have the medical side of things, we have the architectural side of things. They're getting what's newest is information technology, so more of
Oh
that
yeah.
technology part.
Hmm.
But science is huge. Marketing, business is big time here. Most of our student athletes are in a business major. And the unique thing about business, because it's so popular here, if you graduate a little early, we have young women doing that now. You can get your master's in 1 year here because it's a trimester.
So it's
Um,
like the MBA programs 1 year?
yes, it is
Wow.
1 year, and
Okay.
so it's huge. It's a huge selling point for young women that want to or think that it'd be great for them to have it, advantageous for them in the workforce to have a master's degree.
Hmm.
Um, Loyola has two different ways that you can graduate. You can go on a regular semester or a trimester
Okay.
situation. So definitely a lot of freedom there. But yes, we have communication. Everything that you think of, we probably have on our campus.
Okay. Okay. So now one of the other big questions I always love to ask this as well. So let's say I finish my 4 years and my 4 years of eligibility, and I want to come back and get my master's. Could I come to Can I come and say, hey coach, I'd like to be a GA? Is that a possibility to work
Absolutely.
on my master's? Okay.
Absolutely. I think everything with Coach Kate, everything's a possibility. She's here for the student. She's here for the student athlete, and she's here for the person.
Okay.
And if you give her what she asked for, which is just commitment and everything that you got, no matter how you ended your playing career, she's going to take care of you. The goal for student athletes is to use us as resources for as long as you possibly can. And we want to be resources for them for as long as they allow us to be.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
and- yes. And so if a student athlete asks, then we're going to go out our way to try to make it happen. And if we can't make it happen here, who do we know that we can help make it happen for them?
Now that right there,
Mhm.
that's the sound of an experienced coach right there.
Thank
You're
you.
the first person that has ever said that on this show. Usually it's, oh yeah, we'll take care of you. Of course, of course that's the political answer. But like what you just said right there, to me, that's big. If I had a daughter, unfortunately, I have a son, but if I had a daughter and you said that right there, that would have caught my attention right there. You say, I will go out of my way with my network to see who else has a GA position if we don't hear.
Absolutely. I mean, what if four girls graduated at the same time? They all want the same thing.
And exactly, you can't take all four.
We
Yeah.
can't. It's just the reality of the business and of the workforce.
Mhm.
But the beauty, like we talked about a little before we got on, how many people do I know? And
Yeah,
then that extends to the whole staff, where there's 5 of us on staff. That's 5
correct.
different networks that you can tap into if you
Mhm.
choose to.
Yes,
And we're willing to do it if you put in the work and give us no reason not to say, hey, this is a great person. You should take an opportunity with her.
got you. I love that answer right there. That definitely 3 thumbs up for that one. If I had an extra thumb, so
Send
the
your girls to me.
so one of the next questions as well, in regards to loyalty, you said something earlier and my eyes lit up as well. And I didn't even, I mean, even though it was one of my questions, Loyola's network. So of course, when you graduate, you want to know what that piece of paper is worth, and you want to know if you can reach out to their network when you get a job. Can you just expand a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, Loyola University is the oldest Jesuit college in the nation. And so it has a ton of history and a ton of graduates. And then
Hmm.
we extend and have other campuses that are in Maryland. I think we have another campus in New Orleans. And it's just all those, each campus is your network. And
Hmm.
so let's say if we're graduating 4,000, And the Maryland campus is graduating 2,000, and Loyola, the Louisiana campus is graduating 3,000. Well, now you just graduated with, however many thousand people, I'm not a math major, together. And that is, your network. Imagine that every single year. Imagine
Definitely.
all the alumni. This is an institution that has a lot of donor support, has a lot of support from its previous or past students. And there's a way for you to connect no matter what major you're into or what you're interested in. You just got to ask, you got to open your mouth and talk to people, and be willing to reach out too.
Okay. Now, getting off the business side of it and the educational side, has Loyola produced any athletes on the women's side that have played professionally overseas since in the 6 years that the coach has been there?
In the 6 years, I do not believe so, but she's only had, I think, 2 graduating classes since she's been here.
Okay,
So
got
that's a whole other thing. Her recruits are starting to graduate. But I do want to proudly say we had a young woman that was a great athlete on the roster last year that helped, our historic run last year, who just got her white coat, and she's in medical school.
Wow.
And
Okay.
outing for COVID year so that she
Okay.
could go to medical school. And so do we want to be able to produce those professional athletes that want to go overseas? Absolutely. But because we're such a high academic institution, our student athletes want to be doctors and lawyers, and
Yeah.
they want to be CEOs. And so a lot of them choose the workforce after graduation. And I don't think it's not because of talent. I just think it's their choice on
Yeah,
personal choice.
choice, definitely. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all know the ball's going to stop bouncing at some point. So you have to have a plan in place. And, that's one thing, we preach on the show as well. Which is going to touch into something else as well. What is the average salary for a Loyola graduate?
Ooh, that is a great question. And I don't want to answer that without having the facts behind it. I
Okay,
do not
no
know the
problem.
answer, but
Okay.
I promise you, I'm going to find out.
Okay.
We'll get that to you just so you can let everybody know that we can get the answers. And that's the thing about this staff is this program is that we don't have the answers. We're not going to fake the funk. We're going to tell you, we're going to go find it. We're going to get it for you, and I'm going to give you the truth. So I don't know that answer yet, but that is very interesting, and that might be a good recruiting pitch for me. So I will.
And you know why it is a great recruiting pitch? Because you're high academic, and that's one of the first thing most high academics come and say, well, this is what, when you graduate, this is what our graduates make. So, and I'm taking that from experience off the show, because I've had a number of D3 high academics come on here from the UAA. I've had Ivy Leagues come on here, and that's part of their pitch. So yeah, listen, I have no problem, hey, giving you an assist on that one.
Thank you. I'm going to take it.
Definitely. Even going past that, so you said you had a couple of grad transfers that are coming on board this year, right?
Yes, we have one. Yes.
So let me ask you, as a coach now, I know with you being high academic, it's very rare you're going to get a JUCO transfer. So most of your high academics, you guys choose to go the grad transfer route. That seems to be the new popular thing.
Yes.
Especially for high academics, because that's the way they can circumvent not being able to get JUCOs, because we know the JUCOs is wildly popular, but it just, well, let me ask this before I say that. Would you take a JUCO kid that was an academic All-American? Let me ask that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think that anyone is off the table here at Loyola University. I don't think that that's the case.
So Loyola would take a JUCO kid?
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt if she was the right fit for us academically, athletically, junior college. I mean, you're talking about a student with experience.
Yes.
Coming in with 2 years, not one. So I think that, is it possible? Absolutely. It would have to be everything aligning. Everything would have to align.
Yeah, and that's why I brought that up before I bypassed it. That's why I asked, would you guys take an academic All-American? I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say that you guys wouldn't take the regular JUCO kid because, a lot of times some of the JUCO kids just take the general study courses to get their AA and to move on. And I don't see that working for Loyola to get in per se.
Right. You would have to, if you went the junior college route, I do believe you would have to put in a little bit more work. You'd have to pick something and to show that you can handle
Yes.
the work here. It has to be a major, and you'd
Correct.
have to,
Yes.
have a high GPA.
Mhm.
Getting an associate's degree helps a ton. And then being able, like I said, if you're an academic All-American and you're an All-American on the floor, I mean, then the alignment is perfect and you're a good
Absolutely.
student, you just had a different route.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're not scared of it. It's just it has to be aligned the right way.
Yeah, and it has to make sense for Loyola academically to get in and to be able to handle the rigors of, scholastically and academically what it's going to take to make it through, because it's not going to be a walk in the park per se.
Absolutely.
So let me ask this, and as we talked before the show, and I was like, oh, I have to group you with the Furmans, the Davidsons, the Rices, and those type of schools. So you're basically fighting with those schools for those type of student athletes, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Oh gosh.
What would be your recruiting pitch for me to choose Loyola over a Rice, over a Davidson, over a Furman? Because I mean, all you guys are great schools, and
Right.
Academically, it's not going to be, you're not going to turn out pretty decent graduating from either of any of these schools.
Right.
So what would it be? Is it you leaning towards, because you do have the Missouri Valley Conference on your side?
We do.
But on the flip side, Rice has Conference USA, so that's a
They do.
battle. So what, like the Furmans and Davidsons, yeah, they would have to come a little harder to win a person over athletically over Loyola. But what would the package be? I just want to hear what you would say, and because a lot of parents are listening as well, and they would say, why would I choose Loyola over other high academic schools and possibly Ivy League or a UAA school?
Right. There's two ways I would take that, and I probably would pitch both at some point if I'm recruiting, their daughter. The first one is the location. Not any of those locations is better than Chicago, and I'm putting that down. In terms of the new rules for the NIL rules and being able to look and brand yourself, personal brand, name, image, likeness, being able to make those connections, sponsorships, have the great city to be able to, and the beach on the campus to be able to be your background, a lot of your photos. I think that NIL piece is going to be a huge pitch. And then Chicago is just a diverse city with the accessibility. It's the accessibility. Anything your daughter wants to try, she's going to be able to experience it. If she wants to go skydiving, we're not going to want her to go skydiving in real life outside, but iSky is right down the street. Go enjoy yourself. Your daughter wants to be cultured and do museums. Well, we got right, and they can shuttle right down to Millennial Park and enjoy that experience. The accessibility here and the location, and the fact that if you come to Loyola, you get a free CTA pass. Any bus, any subway system you can get on for free, and the subway stops right on our campus, and that goes that runs all the way till midnight. And then I think the second cell is really truly, do you want to be a part of history and make history, or do you just want to be a part of something that's already there? Nice. And that's the student athlete that wants to create history with us. They can't take that away from you. And so that's my second pitch is, they're great institutions and the same degree is going to happen. They can't beat us in terms of location. I can guarantee that. And the second thing is we're building. And we need players like you to get us over the hump, to take us to that national stage. Don't you want to be a part of that? Because when you work for something, gosh, it feels good. And not putting down on any other program. But when you work for it and you earn it, that's why these veteran players that are back this year are going so hard, because they got a taste a taste of what postseason was like. And they want it again, that eagerness. And being a part of history is something, again, no one can take from you, and you'll be a legend, and you'll be in the banner. The first banner will go up. You'll be a part of that. That's my second thing. And it's true. It has to be a certain type of kid, a certain type of student athlete, a certain type of young woman that says, I want to be a part of making something great. And so that would be how I would separate ourselves from those institutions.
I agree with everything you said, but in my opinion, you missed one thing about Chicago.
What I miss?
The food.
You're right. Restaurant week is amazing here.
I've been to Chicago numerous times, and I love the food in Chicago.
Yes.
The Italian restaurants are out of this world.
You're right, and thank you. I'm taking that assist too. That was a lob to me.
Yes, indeed.
Chicago, and when their families visit, like there's something to do. You can't be in a dorm with your daughter because she's playing basketball and going to college. But while they're waiting for your game, what can they do? They can have a date night. They can go, on an architectural trip, boat trip. I mean, there's so much for them to do. It's a city that people want to visit, and it just it makes a difference.
And you're down there by Garrett's as well.
Yes, Garrett's popcorn.
Yeah, you're down there by Garrett's. So, like I said, where you're at, ideally, location-wise, you're right in the heart of Chicago. Yes. So once you told me, I was like, oh man, there's so much to do down there. And like you said, and the train is right. Oh my gosh.
Yes. There's a Loyola stop. That's how big we are here.
Man, that's really big. Yes. So, just a couple other things I wanted to touch on as well. And you've been amazing, having you on the show, and I appreciate you coming on. One of the things about as I see Loyola, well, first, before I ask this, tell me about the famous sister, the older lady that's in the wheelchair that everybody talks about.
Sister Jean.
Yes.
And she just turned 102. Wow. I have not had the privilege to meet her yet, but she is back on campus. Okay. But our head coach talks about her to us all the time. And she's so coherent and understanding, and is such a big supporter of athletics just in general, not just the men's, but the women's side as well. And she truly cares. And she still teaches here on campus. So Sister Jean, she plays a huge part. In our campus.
She still teaches at 102?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. She's sharp. And it's definitely, when she does get back in the office, because everybody's back on campus this year, it's definitely a place that we show our student athletes, our recruits, like, hey, she's right there. And she's literally in the middle of our cafeteria. Okay. So like the accessibility to her is there. And I'm sure there's going to be some protocols because she's a little older and with COVID. But before then, she was very accessible. And she makes it it's important for her to know who it is that she's working with. She knows Coach Kate's name, and she knows her daughter, and she knows her wife. And I think that goes a long way. That tells a little bit about who she is as a person.
Absolutely. And you're leading me into my next question. So unfortunately, we are in the COVID protocols. What are the protocols at Loyola for COVID this year?
Yeah, so Chicago has been probably one of the more progressive, more strict areas, and we are in the city of Chicago. So we do have a mask mandate right now on campus. It wasn't like that in the summer because I think it was just us here and a couple other sports. But now that the students are back on campus, and obviously COVID, the Delta variant is on the rise, and we're going into the winter months. Yes. They're taking the precautions right now. They clean everything, and they're always cleaning. We walked into the chapel on campus, and it is beautiful. First time it was open for me to see. And there was like 20 people in there just wiping down everything, walls, columns, chairs, seats. So they're really taking it very serious here. And I think that's just because they truly want to protect the student athletes and the students. And then if they're not vaccinated, obviously there's testing protocol there. I think our whole program is vaccinated, so there's not as much testing. But obviously taking those same protocols, if you're sick, filling out the questionnaire, figuring out, if you just stay home, those things are still staying in place, for sure.
So does Loyola plan to have fans at their games this year, or is that still up in the air right now?
Yes, there are fans are welcome to the games, and we are so excited about that. There is obviously going to be a mask policy because we're not social distancing in the gym. And there's 2 ways that you can get in, and this is a great for everyone to know. We want you to come to our games, please. Vaccination cards can get you into the game, or if you can prove that you are negative, I think 48 hours before the game. It has to be within 48 hours to be able to get in if you're not vaccinated. So that's the extra protocol. But how serious they are, because they don't want our young women to get sick and then they can't play and we've got to shut down for a certain amount of days. So they're just really trying to take that precaution for all of the student athletes. But we are allowing fans in the stands, and there's not a seat that won't be able to be taken.
Okay, nice. And just in closing, I mean, Coach, it's obvious you are a veteran in the game, because my phone is going back and forth like she's killing it. And I said, I can't respond right now, but I would wholeheartedly agree. I mean, you've done an awesome job with this interview, and I'm sure more people are going to inquire. I mean, I know Coach Dove, Coach, when we do get off and when this is over, I will make the introduction for you for Coach Dove, and actually, to be honest with you, not only is he a good guy, he coaches his program is for Loyola. It's high academic in the NetSAC. So that's going to be, like you said, that introduction, and I'm all for introductions. So, that's just an assist to say, hey, Coach, this is Coach. Coach is a coach, and I let you guys take it from there. Yeah. But I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's an awesome program. When I do come up to Chicago, when I'm not at Garrett's or when I'm not at what's the restaurant that starts with a P that everybody knows? It's like Portobello's or something like that.
Portillo, yes.
Oh,
the line that was the first thing my realtor took us to. The line was crazy.
I love that place.
But it's good.
Yeah, yes, it's very good. But and again, that's one of your recruiting pitches right there. Take them there.
The food is amazing. The food is amazing here. It really is.
Oh yeah, like I said, when you said you're in the heart of Chicago, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, if I was the recruiting coordinator, I would say, we're going to go here Friday, we're going to go here Saturday, and then we're going to go here Sunday before you leave.
Absolutely.
I mean, because that's going to leave an impression. I mean, because like you said, there's so many different ethnicities in Chicago, and so there's so many places that offer great food. I was like, I don't even have enough time to get all the places. I'm on my Yelp app, going all over the place. I had a great time. But yeah, Coach, I mean, I definitely appreciate you coming on. Is there anything in closing that you'd like the listeners to know before you sign off?
Absolutely. I want the listeners to know, I'm accessible all the time, and you can email me, you can find me on social media and contact me. And I want to get to know the people who want to support Loyola, and I want to create new fans, and I want to reach people that maybe we don't get their daughter, but their daughter says, I had a really good experience with Coach Coley, or a really good experience with Loyola during the recruiting process, and that sells for somebody else. We just want to put out there, this is a hidden gem I think people need to know more about, because as a coach, for me, and I'm speaking just for me, my goal is to give young women opportunities to put themselves ahead. So when they graduate, they don't have to work as hard. And that is my main reason why I'm in coaching and why I do it, because I really want to help young women just be in a better place than they came in with.
Absolutely.
And so I'm reachable. I mean, my email, I think my Twitter is @CShelwick. My email's nshelwick@luc.edu. Contact me, and I'll give you my cell for you to contact me directly as well. I'm very accessible.
Definitely. Coach, listen, I definitely appreciate, whenever we have interviews like this, I mean, it stands out. And when people start texting me mid-interview saying, yo, who is this? I definitely have to give you your flowers. I mean, you definitely did a knockout job, and to be, a new coach, I fully expect, well, not a new coach, newly hired to Loyola.
That's the Division I level.
Yes.
It was a huge jump for me.
Yes, that is a huge jump. So yes, you're still getting your feet wet on the D1 level, but you've been on every other level. So this isn't, some new walk in the park for you. So, I mean, really the only difference is, yes, there's more resources. Yes, the talent is going to be, a little better, of course. But, everything else you pretty much done. And it's kind of easier for you because, as well as I know, on some of those other levels, you had to wear a number of hats.
Yeah. Right? Oh my gosh. If I could write a tell-all when I leave this industry, for good, I would write a tell-all. It's crazy. And it's amazing how, like you said, the resources here and the difference in I had 4 position titles at my last institution at IU Kokomo. And then to come here and I'm just a basketball coach.
Yeah.
How much more I can pour into the young women on our roster. That is why I made the jump. And then obviously the city is amazing. And I have 2 young boys, one's 3 and my other one is getting ready to turn 2 in October.
Oh, okay.
So we just want them to be in a more diverse area just for them and their upbringing. So it was just perfect timing. And I'm glad Coach took an opportunity and gave it to me. And I hope y'all are seeing why she gave me that opportunity.
Absolutely. You see our producer put up there, I'm ready to sign, Coach.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah, definitely. And, so what with us introducing you to, we're based out of Atlanta, but, we touch a bunch of the Southeast, Texas, North Carolina, Kentucky, Ohio. I'm sure there's going to be a number of people already looking. So, that's just one of those things, like, trust me, you're going to be fine. And, like for me, when I look at programs to say, hey, when people ask me, where should I send them to? I would definitely recommend your program. And
thank you.
Like you said, it's not always about just basketball. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, you guys do have to win. This is still a business, but everything else outside of that, Loyola checks all of those boxes. And, not only is it an impressive school, they got a great alumni. They got a strong network. I didn't even know all of the degrees that they offer, which is a big thing because, just to be personal about this, I don't agree with a kid going to a school and they say, well, I want to be a physician or I want to be in this major, and the school doesn't have it and they still go there.
Right.
And that can be touchy because it's for each his own. And I know everybody has a dream of playing basketball, especially if you get a Division I scholarship. Yes, those don't come every day. I get that. But as we know, you still got to have a plan once it's over with. And there's nothing wrong with going D2 if they have
your
major. Exactly.
Listen, I won't recruit a kid. I will not. And that's just my ethics. I say, hey, what are you interested in? We don't have that. I'm not wasting your time. And maybe I'm wrong for that. Maybe I've lost student athletes because of that. But I don't think I'm going to be a part of that and be able to, and I have to live with that. Oh, this young woman's graduating with a general studies degree because we don't have her major. No, I'm not living with that. Yeah. And here it's like, well, you want to do this? Oh, we have that. Here's an opportunity for you. And if we don't have it, a lot of times you can make it here at Loyola, which is another cool thing. But if we really don't have it, I don't feel like there's a plan or there's any ability for that young woman to, we just won't recruit them. And I'll just have to take that loss.
Okay, I got you. Listen, I love the way you're talking. I mean, and that's not just to be, of course it's for a recruiting pitch, but you saying that right there, like if I don't have my major, you're going to say, hey, you may want to consider this school because they have, and that's tough because if it's a 6'4" center,
yes, it is.
That's a tough pill to swallow to say, boy, I'm going to lose this person because we don't have their major. And now, don't get me wrong, if there are other avenues that makes sense, of course, like, as well as I know, yes, you visit those opportunities. But if it's just like, we don't even have that college and we don't have an alternative for her,
it's no way. There's no way. Morally, and that's the thing is, yes, it's about education. Yes, I'm here because I'm an assistant women's basketball coach, but I'm human too, and I have kids, and I care about yours. I'm not gonna. I want people to treat my children that way too if they ever become athletes, or if they don't. And that's the thing is, you got to make sure, no matter how far you get in this business, how successful that you are, you have to stay true to you. And I think that my path here was so different because I was true to me. And the right time for me to make the jump happened this year. And I think it's the perfect time.
I have one more question.
Okay.
You said that. So, of course, you said, your path was the perfect time. Mm-hmm. Do you think you missed out on other opportunities because you stayed true to yourself?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's and I'm very, very open about it and very vocal about it. I am honest always. The fact that I will drop a recruit because we don't have their major, we can't offer them something. If a kid says, hey, I'm struggling between you and them, I'm going to have an honest conversation with them. Hey, what's the pros? What's the cons of both of us? Yeah, I may lose you, but I want you to be happy in the end. And then maybe you go there and you hate it and you come back to me. That is definitely, it's a gift and a curse. The fact that you want to stay true to yourself. And then I'm a Black woman, I'm a woman of color in this industry as well. And that's a whole other piece that I deal with too. And I'd be crazy to say that didn't play a part in it. But I do think because I was true and I stayed with my own morals and ethics, it made my path look a little bit different. But it also allowed me to become a head coach within 3 years in the business. I just was at the lower levels. They take a little bit more, they give you more opportunities at the lower level when you're new.
Yes, they do.
And then making my network and being able to make the move finally here is a dream come true. And so because I put in all that work, like, I'm not going to do anything but work here. But it still comes down to, even if I got fired tomorrow, which I don't want to get fired, can I get fired and still have my integrity intact?
Mm-hmm.
And that is extremely important.
Okay. And so I just want to say this in closing. I just met you, and with me just meeting you, your whole persona and your personality follows you, because just off of you, stating, hey, I'm going to sit out, I'm going to be out here talking on the show tonight, and just seeing the followers just speaking highly of you, I was like, oh, wow. Okay. I must have hit the jackpot on this one for this guest. And I just have to commend you. And after having this interview, I could see why. Honestly, I could see why. And, I know from this point forward, anybody mentions your name, I know I will speak highly of you, because you just don't meet. I mean, you do meet great people, but you don't meet a lot of coaches that stand for what they believe in, whether it's, for the good or it's going to cost them something in the long run. I mean, that's a gamble. And, for you to be true to yourself, I commend you. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm probably going to watch this segment probably 100 times over.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I'm so glad you reached out. Anytime I have an opportunity to talk about what I love, like, I want to take a part. I want to be a part of that.
Definitely. And, for the kids in the Southeast, you high academic kids, you definitely want to pay attention to this program. It's up and coming. As Coach Selwick said, they're new. There's a new culture being created. I mean, they're winning. So let me just put that in itself. They're winning now. So if they're winning and going to postseason, not only do you want to go to a program that's going to take care of you academically, but you're not going to be miserable because you're 2-22 either. So
exactly. And we all know if you recruit Georgia, you're going to win some games. So you Georgia players, you definitely send me your information and reach out. We know that. That's the rumor.
That definitely, and I will definitely agree with that. And just before we go, definitely give your information for the listeners, because my phone I'm getting text after text after text, and we'll talk. So I mean, like I said, for Coach Dub, he's a great guy. But for people that are listening that I don't have a personal relationship that are interested in reaching out to you, please just let them know one more time.
Yes, on Twitter at Shelwick, SHELWICK. And then email me directly. Email me at my work email because my real name is Nicole. Coley is my nickname. In Shelwick at luc.edu. You can go on the website and find me. My email is there. And then once we make that first connection and I feel like it's comfortable, I will give you my cell number and you can reach me and contact me anytime.
Definitely. And listen, I appreciate you so much. And, whenever I get to Chicago, outside
you hit me up.
Food, definitely.
Hit me up, please, because we would love to have you in the stands for a game, number one, so you can see it, in person. And then, we're here. Me and my significant other, we're out here, me and him, and we want to explore the city too. I would love to meet you in person as well and just talk to you. And I appreciate so much this opportunity. Like, I know you're thanking me, but I thank you as well.
Thank you. And like I said, Coach, this will not be the last time we'll be in contact. I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to be calling you and saying, hey, I got a couple of kids that have asked after this show, because you knocked it out of the park. So, and, I love the support you have. I'm just looking at some of the comments from Sabra Rice that are calling you the best. So, again, like I said, it speaks volumes about your personality. And,
she's a former coach at Fairfield University.
Okay. And like I said, I'm a fan now. So definitely I'm a fan. So we will definitely be in contact. And you take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Take care, Coach Selwick. Bye-bye. That's Coach Selwick from Loyola Chicago. Awesome personality, awesome coach. We ran over a little bit, but I'm totally fine with that. Our next coach, man, he's from a JUCO powerhouse, Trinity Valley down in Texas, and they produce some NBA players as well as a number of D1 prospects. I got Coach Marcus Sykes. How you doing, bro? Coach Sykes, how you doing, man?
Hey, everything's going well. How are you?
I'm good, man. Hey, man, I'm glad we can make it. I know you had practice, so I know you were running like crazy, man.
Yeah, you see my shirt here. Man. Sweat it out. So.
I got you, man. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, man. It's a great Monday. A lot of energy is in the building, man. So it's great, man. It's great.
And man, we just gonna get right into it, man. Trinity Valley's a powerhouse, man. You all play in one of the top JUCO conferences in the country. Everybody knows about Trinity Valley. They know about Midland. They know about Odessa. They know about New Mexico JC. And a plethora of others in the conference. You guys got some killers in that conference. So you're going to have all of those 4-year coaches lined up at your practices, lined up at your games, lined up at the JUCO jamborees, which I'll be in Dallas. So I'll get to meet you in Dallas.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So man, I'm excited to see what you guys bring. Tell us a little bit more about Trinity Valley for the people that don't know.
Well, first of all, we're located in Athens, Texas, about an hour from Dallas.
Okay.
So it's a great location as far as recruiting goes. All right, Coach. As far as recruiting goes, man, it's great, man, because DFW is right there. Dallas Love is right there. Most of the time when coaches fly in, we're one of their first stops.
Okay.
Which is Trinity Valley, man. It's a great school. The culture is just built up upon playing hard and winning games. And that's pretty much what we're known for. Last year we won 22 games straight in a row.
Okay.
Finished the regular season 22-2. Lost in the Elite Eight at Hutchinson, but that's just our culture, man. We like to play hard. We coach our guys and our girls hard. As far as on the basketball side, we coach them hard and we win, and that's just what we're known for. That's our pedigree.
Absolutely. To be honest with you, for people that don't understand, you guys would be considered a blue blood of JUCO, because for you guys, if you don't go to Hutch, it's considered not a good season.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. And honestly, your conference is so tough, man. Just to get out of your conference alone, people don't even understand that part.
Yes.
You know,
And within within the past few years, the conference, excuse me, the level of talent has just risen.
yeah.
This will be my 6th year here. So I've been in the league a while. And I've seen it grow, man. And last year was a tell-all as well, man. The league is up. Region 14 is tough. You know, you got your Tyler, you got Navarros, you
Yeah.
have your Kilgores.
Yeah.
You know, and no knock to all the other teams, Panola and Bossier Parish and all those guys. But they're on the incline. You know, they're coming up, man. So it's great, man. I love it here. You know, when I recruit, you know, I tell guys you're coming into a family atmosphere, man, and you'll love it. You know, we have boosters on campus that you know that just kind of take care of our guys, cook them home cooked meals and things like that, man. So
Wow.
it's a great culture here.
Okay. Okay. So tell me about this year's roster. I know you guys got some good looking prospects. So tell me about the roster you got for this year.
We do. We have some pieces, man. Unfortunately, one of my guys, Toon got kicked. He's 6'10". He was a All-American honorable mention last year. University of Florida came in about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Man, you know, came in about 2 weeks ago. It's like, Coach Sykes, we need him. And you know, that was all they had to say, man, because
yeah, I mean, because that's what it's about.
That's what
really.
It's about.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, you want to win, but you want to see any of your student athletes move on to the next level and be successful as well.
Exactly.
But trust me, I can only imagine with me being an AAU coach, I would cringe as well. Trust me.
Man, I know. And that's exactly what I was doing, man. I was like, oh my God. Because, you know, on paper, we already counted him in. Like, okay.
Oh, definitely.
You know, so, yeah, man. So they took a big piece from us there, which is great for him. His Toon got kicked. Great kid. So they got him from us.
Okay.
So now we're just doing it by committee, man. We've got some good guards. And we got a returner in Jay Buckley, which he had a tremendous tournament at Hutch. Showed a lot of poise, showed a lot of skill, some dog as well. We have another kid, Quavion Adger, 6'7", guard. He can shoot the lights out. He can handle it. He can slash. And we also have a transfer. Where's Deshawn Daniels?
I'm familiar with him.
Yes, indeed.
Very familiar with him. He jumps out the gym in athletics.
Doesn't he?
Definitely. And just to give you a tidbit, me and Deshawn's mom went to college together.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So I know that family very well. I know the mom, I know the dad, he comes from an athletic family. Let me say that.
Nice. Yeah, I heard about his sister. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, yes. Sister, dad, mama, all of them got athletic blood. The mama ran track. The dad was an amazing, basketball player. As you know, the sisters,
right,
a great player as well.
Elite.
So yes, exactly. Exactly. Now, Coach, one other thing, outside the roster, and it's time to toot your horn a little bit because it is what it is.
Right.
Tell me about the number of kids you send to 4-year schools as well as professional.
Man, it's unreal. Honestly, man, because I'm coming from being a player, to actually coaching. That was my transition. From University of Cincinnati overseas for 7 years, and then I'm just jumping right into this thing, man. So, year one, I think we might have lost one game year one. One game.
Crazy.
And that year we sent kids to Texas Tech. Another one went to Kansas State. Another one went to Rhode Island. And that was year one. And just this past year, we had the number one guard in the country, Deshawn Rams Davis from the Bronx, was signed with Oregon State, but he had to pick of his litter. Like you know, wherever he wants to go. So, you know, and before that, we sent guys to Baylor. We sent Tyson Jolly to SMU. You know, Jamie Echenike to Wichita State. He's now with the Washington Wizards this year.
Wow.
A big fella. You know, and we have several guys just playing overseas, making money, you know. So, and that's what it's all about, man. I try to use my contacts, my resources from my playing days, my mentors, you know, just to get guys in good places, man. And that's just what I was taught from early on, man. One of my mentors is Mick Cronin, and he was a big time recruiter in his day. And you know, that's kind of who I learned from, man. And that's just what we do here. We recruit dogs. I heard the last young lady in the last segment say, if you recruit Georgia, you're gonna win. That's a fact.
You know what it is. You already know what it is.
That's a fact, man. So yeah, man. We just try to give them, provide them with the best opportunity, coach, and coach them hard and get them on out of here. You know.
But now, and let's be honest, you guys have elite talent. So with you having elite talent, you don't have, well, you maybe the 7th or 8th guy, but you don't have, you have a bunch of high major kids. Let me say that. You have a bunch of high major kids, and then you have some mid major, sure. But you know, I tell people all the time, because we have kids that'll reach out to us and say, hey, I only want to go to a top 25 JUCO. I'm like, man, you don't understand. That's like going to Duke, Kansas, and North Carolina.
Right.
And, you know, they're like, no, I can play there. And I'm like, from what I saw, you know, it's not to knock the kid and kill his dream, but there's nothing wrong with, as I call, going to a mid-major JUCO so you can play, because it's all about developing.
Exactly.
Like, you're going to Trinity Valley, bro. You're going to have your Coach K's and all of your big name coaches checking out, you know, your school, because I mean, you guys have the pick of the litter. Like I said, Florida just came and grabbed one of your guys before the season even started. I mean, come on, man. That you know, like you're teasing us about, yes, Georgia. You know, people know Georgia has talent, but at the end of the day, we also know where to send our JUCO players. And listen, don't y'all kill me for saying that. I'm only telling the truth. That JUCO conference in Texas, listen, let's just be honest, it's up there with the Florida JUCO conference. It's up there with the Kansas and Iowa conference.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. And I just call a spade with a spade. You know, yes, and before y'all kill me, I know Georgia is on the upcome for JUCO. Yes, it is. I get that, as well as Alabama. Shelton State plays incredibly tough.
Yes.
Yes. I know, man. They're going to get me for that. I know they're going to get me for that.
Hey, man, you just telling the truth, man. You telling
but,
the truth.
Man, I mean, and Dre, you know, man. I mean, like, that's like saying us being an AAU program, and then there's EYBL. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. There's levels.
We feel like we're good, but, you know, then there's EYBL teams. And, you know, it's not to say we won't strap up and go against them, but like I said, it's levels. You just said it best.
Right.
It's levels.
Exactly.
And just to explain that to folks, at your practices, how many coaches are at your practices in September?
Normally, man, they're just rolling in by the bunches. Last year was a COVID year, so obviously they didn't get to come out then. But on an average, man, it's at least, it could be anywhere from 5 to 10 coaches in our gym.
Every practice
on a good year, you know, sparingly, sparingly on a good year, and those are a mixture of low major, mid major, and you might have a sprinkle of a high major at any time, you know, just to come check it out, you know.
Man, well, unfortunately, with the 6'10" kid leaving, I mean, you guys still have a great roster. But with the 6'10" guy to go with the roster you have now, it would have been 10 to 15 this year per practice. Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I know some of the killers you got this year, and I'm like, well, I can't wait to see them in Dallas. Man, speaking of that, that's October 8th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, October 8th. Yeah, I'll be there. I just had to make.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. So I'll be there for that, man. And
Mm-hmm.
man, I can't wait to see your program. I can't wait to see New Mexico. I can't wait to see Odessa. I can't wait to see Midland, and as well as all these other ones that are coming from Colorado, Iowa, Missouri. There's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be some killers out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, boy, I'm gonna have my seat. I'm gonna come chop it up with you. But
Yes,
I'm like,
indeed.
man, I gotta go. I gotta see some of these games, man.
Yes, it's gonna be a good year, man. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a great year. Basketball is back. Hopefully, COVID doesn't
Oh, yeah.
shut us
Fingers
down
crossed,
again.
bro. Yeah.
But it's back, man. I think guys are excited to be back on the court. Full throttle. So I know I am.
Yeah, definitely, man. I want to touch some other things outside of basketball for
Mm-hmm.
Trinity Valley. What type of associate degrees does Trinity Valley offer?
Anytime, any kind, from nursing to psychology to Bachelor of Arts, sociology. It's a wide range, a wide array of what's the word I want to say, of classes that you can take here and receive your associates in. Kinesiology, it just goes down the line, man. It's a great institution. We have three separate campuses as well.
Okay.
We have a Kaufman and a Terrell campus as well that goes along with our Athens campus.
Okay.
You can. It's a wide array of different classes that you could take to achieve your ultimate goal in education, for sure.
So, and this touches some more on the educational part as well.
Mm-hmm.
What if you get a transfer, and let's just say the transfer has enough credits to graduate, but like this year is a COVID year, so let's say he took advantage of the COVID year.
Right.
Do you have it set up to where he can where there's dual enrollment to where he could possibly go to a 4-year school while he's still there?
That's something I would have to check into, but that would kind of conflict with his whole recruiting process.
Really?
That would kind of conflict there, because most of the guys we have, so if they have most of their credits to graduate, we're just gonna put them in minimal classes to get them through. Because we don't have a program to where they start taking their 4-year classes here.
Okay.
But as far as the regular students, we do have a program for that. Our Athens high school students, they're in their honors programs. They also can take classes over here at Trinity Valley during their senior year. But as far as our transfers go, we've never done anything like that. I would have to check into that before I actually say no. But most of the time, like when we get our transfers from one transfer, we had Wendell Chuck Mitchell. He was from Baylor University. Ended up starting for Texas A&M for the past 3 years. He came and was almost pretty much done.
Yeah.
So that just helped him just focus more on basketball, and you're still getting your classwork in, but he had a lot more time, to hone in on his craft.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Now, coming off of the educational piece back to basketball, how big is Trinity Valley on player development?
Oh, we're very big, and that's part of my role as well. Hence the study transfer.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do that like clockwork, man. It's just part of, like you said, it's part of the development for the players. Like that's why you're here in JUCO, because you're missing something, whether it be grades or your mentality, or just your skills weren't up to par for that Division I. So that's big for us. I usually get the guys in the morning. A key holder to the gym, so any time of the night. Guys knock on my door and say, "Coach, you want to get in the gym, get some shots up?" I'll drive over and I'll open the gym and let the guys get some work in. So that's a staple in what we do, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. So tell me how a typical day goes at Trinity Valley. Do you guys practice early in the morning and then go to class and then practice again in the evening? How does it work?
It varies. So for right now, we're getting up on Thursday and Fridays at 6 a.m. And we're just running them like crazy. Like last Thursday and Friday, I had them out here on the field. We did 20 100-yard sprints, 10 seconds of rest in between each one. And then as soon as we finish that, we are immediately on the hill. We have this big hill. Did 20 of those. Then we come down, we stretch, then we go to the court, and we would get our individual work in. But a typical day, like a Monday, for us would be wake up in the morning, individuals with guys that just want to get up.
Coach, adjust your audio a little bit. Coach, adjust your audio. You got a little bit of static.
Breaking up a little bit there. Hello?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. You still there?
Yeah, there's a bad reception. I can't really. Still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Okay.
Hello.
Yep, perfect. That's perfect. Okay.
Oh, there we are. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So tell us what you were saying again.
Well, just a typical day for us would be just wake up in the morning about 6:30. Individuals with guys that want to get in and get some work. They would grab some breakfast, go to class, come back. We'll have weights. I'll be in the office. We'll maybe watch some film. Just kind of for certain guys to know what their roles are. And then we'll practice. Our practice varies from 3 on some days, and then some days is at 5. So it's a long day. And then after that, the gym will be open again at 7:30, and I'll be in the gym from about 7:30 to 10. With the guys, just working on shots, or ball handling, or whatever it may be.
Okay.
So long days, man. JUCO is a grind for sure.
Oh yeah. The famous saying for JUCO's not for the weary. You know what I mean?
It's not. It's not, man. It's not.
And I mean, let's be honest. For the type of kids you're getting, these are high-level kids. A lot of times you get mid-major and up. So what you get mid-major and up, you have potential pros. You know what I'm saying? You working with potential pros on player development. So that's a different ball game there altogether. This isn't somebody where it's just a total project and these kids are coming in, they can go.
Indeed.
Yeah, they can go.
Indeed.
So let me ask you this, man. So when I think of that, and let's just be honest here when we talk about this. I know you have to turn down some kids, or you have to say, unfortunately, you're not Trinity Valley material. And not to knock a kid, but, levels are levels, like you said, right?
It's true.
So, I'm sure you have coaches say, hey, man, I got a player, yada, yada, yada. And you take a look at tape and you might be like, he's not, he's not quite what we're looking for. Let's go with the
right. It's all about relationships. So when we recruit, man, you try to tap in with the guys that's kind of close to you, you have a relationship with, so they actually tell you the truth about a guy. Yeah. Because there are a lot of guys, man. They want to help the kid.
I get it, but times, it doesn't help your program, though.
That helps the program, I'm usually brutally honest. If I got a guy that's trying to send me a kid that's not really what we're looking for, I'll just tell him it's not what we're looking for. He's not strong enough. He's not a dog enough.
You have to be. And that's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to be because, man, like you said, I mean, for what you guys recruit and what the other schools in the conference recruit, you know what it is. I know what it is, and I learned very quickly. I was like, oh, man. And, man, just to touch on that, man, can you tell me or tell the listeners some of the pro alumni from Trinity Valley?
Say that again. You're breaking up a little bit. I'm sorry.
Can you let us know some of the pro alumni that have come from Trinity Valley?
Oh man, pros were just most notable. Nick Van Axel is the most notable. Cincinnati, one of my Cincinnati brothers.
I'm about to say you biased on that one because that's a Cincinnati guy, but I'm gonna disagree on who's the most notable one. I don't agree with that.
Hey,
I don't agree.
That's the
I don't
one.
agree. I mean, Nick Van Exel's. I mean, he's definitely one of the top 2 or 3, but the most notable one is Sean Kemp.
Sean Kemp for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I think he started the whole trend. Yeah, Sean Kemp for sure. Yeah, we've got his jersey actually in the locker room.
Oh, okay.
So I was actually getting, I put Nick Van Axel first. That's my Cincinnati brother. So.
Oh yeah, I knew you was gonna be biased on that one. I knew it. I knew what it was, man. I already knew. But you guys, I mean, so let me ask this as well. I mean, outside, those are NBA players. You guys send scores of players to overseas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be honest, probably each team per year you probably send 1 or 2 players overseas once they finish the 4 years, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
we do.
I mean, when I think about your program, man, I mean, it's just, and I said when I think about your program, it's just one of those things where you guys are, a cut above the rest, and you're in a conference above the rest. But Coach, what we're going to do, I definitely appreciate you coming on, man. Our signal's a little weak, so I'm going to get up with you in Dallas, and we'll definitely talk some more. Okay. All right, Coach. You take care, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. Okay. I didn't say it again.
Hey, I appreciate you, baby. Thanks.
All right, man. You take care, man. All right. That was Coach Sykes from Trinity Valley, man. Definitely a good coach, man. Again, I know I'm going to catch some heat after this show. In Georgia, I love you guys. But, when we're talking about conferences, I mean, Texas is the traditional power with that whole conference. The same with Florida. They're a traditional power. Up there, Iowa and Kansas, that's a traditional power, those conferences. Now, yes, Georgia is on the uptake. I know all of you guys, and I know I'll probably get some texts and some calls like, man, you talking about Georgia JUCO basketball? Absolutely not, because just like you said, they come here to recruit. So we have to do a better job of recruiting. We have to do a better job of recruiting in-house and keeping those guys here so we can continue to move up the ladder and get even stronger. Our next guest is here. Great guy. I had the privilege of meeting him before he got this job here. Coach Wise from Oakland City University. How you doing, man?
What's going on, Coach? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. First, I want to say congratulations on the new job, man.
Man, I appreciate it. it. It's been a whirlwind, man.
I can
just
imagine.
These past couple weeks here, and finally getting my feet wet in there, and I'm excited about it.
Oh, absolutely. And as you know, I've known you from your last stop when you had the head coaching job. And, just to see you move up the ranks, I'm definitely excited for you, man. Coach French is a great coach. And, man, he has that NAI showcase every year, correct?
Yeah, the show in Tennessee. Yeah. It's I tell you what, that's one thing that I missed because I was at West Virginia Tech in the River States and with Coach Williams, and we always played in that. And I tell you, it was so funny. We here at Oakland City, one of the players that I coached when I was at Tech, Tommy Collins, had a great career at Tech, and he actually mentioned that yesterday to me. And he said, "Hey, are we doing the show this year?" We said, "Yeah, we're doing." He said, "Oh man, that food, because they feed you really well there, and nice Thanksgiving dinner." And I tell you what, that's something I'm definitely excited to get back to.
I've heard so much about it. I've never been. I want to try my best to catch it. It's during Thanksgiving week, though, right?
It is. It's right around there. I think it's right after, if I remember correctly.
Like that Thursday and Friday or something like that?
Yeah, it's something like that. I can't remember the exact date. It's right around there.
Yeah, my schedule. If I can, I may try and catch it like that Friday, which would be right after Thanksgiving. But I'd have to get right back to Atlanta because there's Hoopsgiving and a bunch of other, big high school tournaments going on. But yeah, I've heard so much about the show. I was like, man, I would love to check that out. It's just always been a scheduling thing where I couldn't make it.
Right. Oh, it's so neat because the games are in the hotel, so the courts are inside the hotel, and
really,
I mean, it's an experience for sure.
Okay.
But we'd love to have you there. So hopefully, if you make sure you let us know, and we'll get you in there for sure.
Definitely, I appreciate that. So, man, since you're new, tell us about Oakland City, man.
I tell you what. When I went there to check out, the campus and talk with coach, and, I wasn't exactly sure what I was, expecting. But I tell you what, in my eyes, and a lot of other people's too, it's a sleeping giant there, from the facilities to the backing from the athletic department, the support in the community. It's something that I look at it and I'm like, there's no reason why we can't be right there at the top of the conference. When you look at the type of the way the campus is shaped, and it's a nice sized campus. You've got your main gym. Obviously, we have another gym that we're able to use as well. There's getting upgrades to other parts of the facilities, and so they've shown that they want to support the athletic teams, and that's something we're really excited about. And we think that from what we can build upon from this year and moving forward, we're excited. I mean, and I'll be honest, I didn't know much about Oakland City beforehand, but I tell you what, it's going to get on a lot of people's radar. That's for sure.
Well, here's one thing that I wanted to talk to you about. What people don't understand is how good a quality the NAI basketball brings that people don't actually know. Because what we do with our AAU organization, we make sure we take our kids to a game on every level. Right. And, a lot of times when, our kids leave like NAI games, I'm like, hey, man, those guys are good. I'm like, yes, that's why we take you to these games so you can see. Another good friend of ours on the show, Life University, they have a great, perennial program down here in Atlanta. So we make it a point like, hey, man, you need to see how good these guys really are. These aren't some JV players per se. They can play. Yeah. And as you know, a lot of NAI players do end up going professionally overseas to play.
Oh, without a doubt. And that was something that was really interesting. It's something that I was excited about, because when I left West Virginia Tech, I went to Mercer University, and I remember going there and thinking, those guys could hoop, don't get me wrong, but I remember thinking, we had one or two, maybe three guys that could play with these guys. Yeah. And and I always knew NAI had good level basketball, but for me, that was my first college job. Then going to Mercer, it was really neat seeing that and being like, okay, yeah, so that NAI is for real, and that's something. I mean, in the back of my mind, I always wanted to get back to the NAI level, and this was just a perfect situation for me. But seeing the way now we've got our facilities, the way this conference is shaped up, it's just really exciting for me to get back into it.
Gotcha. So tell me about the roster you guys got this year for Oakland City.
Yeah, so we've got some returners here, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to do a much of the recruiting, a little bit. So Coach Thompson, Coach French have handled a lot of that, and they brought some quality guys in here as well, and we're really excited about them. And most importantly, we know we can bring in talent, but it's the other intangibles that we look for. We want to bring in guys who. We don't mind if they're around our families. We want people who are good representations of the community. Good in the academic side of things, and that's what we care about because we want to really build this program from the ground up, and that's our focus. Because anybody can recruit talent. It's everything else that makes that mesh in together.
Absolutely.
Because we want guys who. Are unselfish guys who are team first guys, not me first guys. Yeah. And that's been the biggest focus for us.
Gotcha. Now, since I don't really know much about Oakland City, what type of majors do they offer there?
Yeah. There's a really good variety. We got business, education, which are some of the big ones, but I know we've got some arts and sciences in there too. Obviously there's some seminary in there as well, being a private university. And there's a lot that we can use recruiting tools to bring guys in. There's a very good variety there, which is exciting for us. So we're not just restricted because, some, smaller, universities and AIA colleges, they've only got one or two they can sell to a kid. And, we've got a good grasp, a good variety of them. And so it's something that we're really excited about too.
Okay. I just want to break it down for the listeners a little bit more so they can understand. And, and I'm sure you'll be fine with this. So, with NAIA, how many scholarships do you guys have?
So we work on equivalencies, and really what that is you've got your scholarship money, and you've find a way to divvy it up amongst your team.
Exactly.
And so it's neat, getting back to because I was at the Division III level, and now being able to get to a level where we can this kid needs a little bit more to be able to get here, and that's something that I'm excited about personally, because there were times we're Division III recruiting, and we know we get this kid a little bit more, we just can't do it to be able to get him. So it's equivalency based, and obviously if you have a high GPA, that helps your situation, because then not academic money needs to go to you. So we want to see guys who have those high GPAs as well, and are doing well in the academic side of things, and it gives them sort of an advantage.
So, okay, and I'm glad you just brought that up, because I was heading that way as well. Mm-hmm. So, outside the academic money, I knew about the equivalencies. What type of academic money do they have, like, say, for a 4.0 or a 3.5 or a 3.0? What type of academic money would Oakland City give?
Right. So, there's different types of scholarships out there that they'll give. And then some, there's out of state, obviously, and there's some in-state ones, and depending on where they're coming from out of state, and we'll see if some transfer, and different types of benefits as well. We've got a lot of this information that if there's listeners that want to have everything on a sheet of paper, I'll give my information here at the end, and sure. Can definitely send all that out to them, and or send it to you. And if anybody asks you, and because any information that we can get, from the school and the institution, out to more people to see our program, see the university, we'd love to be able to do that. Because that's, like I said, Oakland City, there wasn't a lot I knew about it before I got here, and I'm still now continuously learning. I'm learning on the fly right now, and I want to keep spreading the word about it.
Okay. And well, one of the big questions, especially from an NAIA standpoint, what's the tuition there? Because like you said, I understand that you all have the equivalency-based scholarships. So let's start with how much it costs to go there.
Okay. It's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay.
So I know that when, like I said, I've gotten here and just gotten into the side of the recruiting, haven't hit it a whole lot yet.
Okay.
So I'm still learning on the fly right now.
Okay. No problem. Let's touch a little bit more. What conference do they play in?
Yeah, so we're in the River States Conference.
Okay.
Some really good teams in this conference, and like I said, I was in this conference before when I was at West Virginia Tech, and good conference, good competition, and there's going to be a lot of battles in it.
Okay. And for the people that don't know, where is Oakland City University located at?
Yeah, so we're at in Oakland City, Indiana, which is about 20 minutes from Evansville. A great location. We're about 2 hours from Indianapolis, 2 hours from Nashville, and 2 hours from St. Louis, 2 hours from Louisville. So we're kind of right there in the heat of everything, basketball country out there, and it's really exciting because you've got you're kind of in your own secluded section there in Oakland City, but you're not far from anything. You can get really to wherever you want to go to, and different experiences, and so it's a great location. Okay.
Does Oakland City only offer bachelor degrees, or do they offer master degrees as well?
So there are types of masters in there. I know we have other campuses as well. So we have campuses on I believe in Evansville, and then a couple other, I think 3 others as well. I believe there's some masters in there as well.
Okay. Sounds good. So, record-wise from last year, I didn't get a chance to do my research as to what record they had last year, but have they picked the preseason rankings for River States yet?
And I don't believe they have yet. And I think it was 5 wins last year, if I'm not wrong.
So they're rebuilding.
So rebuilding, and this is our as a staff, it's our first year. So this is Coach French's first year there, and obviously it's all of ours. And so we're looking, like I said, to build from the ground up, and got some guys in here. We think it's going to lay a great foundation for us in the future.
Okay. And you guys are open to recruiting from all over, correct?
Definitely. And I'll take care of my Georgia guys too.
I know that. Trust me, I know. At the last stop, you were in this area religiously last stop.
And you know that, man.
I definitely know that. And you guys do take JUCO and post-grad kids, right?
We do. And like we said, we'll look at anybody, and you just have to be able to fit into our culture. And that's what we care about. If you're going to be a team first guy, you're going to handle yourself in the classroom, you're going to get looked at, and that's what we care about.
Definitely. So what do I need as a student athlete to be accepted in Oakland City, GPA wise?
GPA, it's going to vary, and then it's going to be dependent on obviously your ACT and SAT scores too. And so they're going to look at all 3 and see, which one is going to, attribute to your success here, and balance it from that. Obviously, you don't want one of those super, super low, but they're going to take a look at all 3 of them.
Okay. So let me ask this important question, because I know I'm going to get this question as well. With the NCAA giving 22s and 23s, they're waiving the test option. Does Oakland City still require that, even though the NCAA is waiving that requirement for the next 2 years?
That's a good question. I don't know exactly, but my guess would be yes. But I'm not positive on that, because I know most schools are doing that.
Yes.
Because I know when I was at St. Vincent, that's what they were doing as well. And I know most schools are leaning that way. Obviously, Oakland City's private, so that they've got their decision on that. But I would assume so. But again, I can get that answer for you as well.
Okay, no problem.
Like I said, man, I'm flying on the seat of my pants right now. I tell you what, I'm not even fully moved into my apartment yet.
Man,
I'm here. I'm just trying to make it by right now, man.
Listen, when I got the text from the Rising Coaches Association that you got the job, I was like, wait a minute, what? I was like, let me make sure I'm looking at the right guy. And that's when I shot you a text like, hey, man, congratulations, man. I was like, wow, it caught me off guard. And I'm sure, a lot of people weren't expecting that. But, hey, it's a great move for you. It's a great program that you guys are going to get a chance to rebuild. And, hey, I wish you the best on that, man. But, I totally understand. And, I know you'll be in the Georgia area just like you were before. And I'm sure we'll be talking, and I'll be sending you players to say, hey, man, take a look at this guy. And actually, are you guys full for this year already, or?
We are. We were looking and just kind of see what would happen here these last week or so, and we were happy with where we are roster wise, and maybe if something came available, but we like where we're at, and we think we've got a really good group to be able to build off of. We started classes already, and we've got guys who are getting in the gym, get conditioning, weights in right now, and they're ready to get to work. So, but no, I mean, it was it kind of the whole job. I mean, it just came out of nowhere for me too. So it caught me by surprise as well. But no, it all happened so quick, and yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I'm excited about it. We got a roster here we feel like we can build off of, and it's I mean, I'm gonna be taking care of your guys, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely, man. I already know, man. I know when it can, now that, well, let's just keep fingers crossed. We were able to get in live periods in July, and hopefully we'll be able to get them in April and July of next year. I'm sure you guys will probably come down to Atlanta because this is one of your spots. I already know. So, I'll probably give you a heads up before you come down about, what to expect, what tournaments to, attend and all that good stuff. Because, since we already have a relationship, man, man, sure. I really wish you the best, man, because I know probably, gosh, like you said, you haven't even moved everything in yet from Pittsburgh.
Man.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, I know. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. If I know some of those questions, man, I couldn't answer them all, but if you got anybody asking you on stuff, just direct them to me, or we'll get it squared away, because man, it's been crazy, but I appreciate you having me here, having me on. I think this is great what you're doing, not only just having coaches on here talking to them, but educating parents and coaches and others, and that's good stuff, man. And
I appreciate it.
I know people like that, and it's awesome what you're doing.
I appreciate that, man. And like I said, we talk outside of this, so just from a relationship standpoint, I always tell people it's important to have coaches in your network where you have a relationship with, and you're one of those, man. Like I said, even when you were D3, I was a big advocate for that regardless, man. I'm an advocate for NAIA, D2, and not just D1. Don't get me wrong. I love D1. Right. Don't get me wrong. But, like we were talking, there are good players on every level, JUCO as well. And, I just want to keep shining the light on all these levels so, people find a good fit and not just look for a school that they're sitting on end of the bench and not playing and not developing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I said, once you guys get settled in, like I said, I'm going to try my best to make the show because I've heard so much about it.
Yeah, it's awesome. We'd love to have you there, man. It's awesome. Awesome.
We'll talk some more about that, man. Hey, man, definitely send me a T-shirt, man. I need to open
I got you.
Man.
I got you.
Definitely, man. So, man, we'll talk some more. I'm going to try and get you on probably either the middle of the season or at the end of the season, once you guys have everything locked in, and we'll revisit this, man, and keep rolling, man, because, I support you, man, and, I wish you all the best, man, okay?
Yeah, that sounds great, man. I appreciate you, and I'll be on anytime you want me here, man.
I appreciate you, Ryan, man. You have a good one, man, and thanks again for coming on the show, okay?
Yeah, no doubt.
Right,
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Oh, Ryan, before I let you go, Ryan, let the listeners know what your Twitter handle is.
Yeah, Twitter is at Coach R Wise, and my email is I believe it's rwise@oak.edu. Let me just double check on that here.
Okay.
Yeah, rwise@oak.edu. Yeah.
At OAK.edu.
OAK. Yep.
Got you.
Yep.
Okay, man. And I
Gotta double
appreciate
check
that,
that, man. You know.
Yeah, because like I said, and if they don't know, I'll get them the information. But
For
I
sure.
always, get parents and coaches that ask, for information for kids. And, like I said, for the NAI, man, you're probably going to get a lot of kids. I mean, you were getting kids interested for D3, so I know what you're going to do on the NAI level, man. I already know.
Man. You know it,
Definitely.
Man. Show the
man,
kids some love, and they appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, man. Man, you take care, man. We'll be talking real soon, okay?
Likewise, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care, Ryan.
Yeah, see you, man.
All right. That was Coach Wise, man. Good friend of mine. I'm from Pittsburgh, and he was coaching in the area, and that's how I got a chance to meet him. He hits Georgia hard, very hard. So, I got to know about him even more. So when we would ask me about certain players, I'm like, oh, yeah, that guy would be a fit, or nah, you don't want to get that guy because he's going a lot higher than where he was at the certain time. But, I want to thank all the coaches that came on tonight. And, as I said, I'm going to keep preaching this about different levels. And, we had a JUCO coach on tonight. We had an NAIA coach on. We had a Division I high academic coach on. And I'm such a big advocate for education and high education. And what people don't understand, when we talked about higher education, I just really thought about it. All the schools that she rivals, that she's recruiting against, I've had the majority of them on my show. And I was like, gosh, I've had almost all of them on my show with the exception of Davidson. So Davidson, if you're listening, I'm looking for you guys to come onto the show as well. And it's not just about high academics. I want any school to come onto the show and talk about what they can offer kids, because as Coach was saying earlier, it's about helping young women and helping young men be able to move in the right direction. So when the ball stops bouncing, they have options, and it's not just D1 or die, or, I'm trying to go professional and I don't have any other options. We want to show, hey, if you go to this school, they have a strong alumni so they can help you find a job. Or this program has a strong graduate assistant program where you can graduate in 1 year. All these little educational tidbits are major, and we need people to hear a lot more. One of the next things I'm going to do as well in the future, Coach Sykes is from one of the elite JUCO D1 programs. And as I was thinking and I was talking to him, I said, gosh, I got to start getting some of the JUCO D2s and JUCO D3 programs on here, because a lot of you guys don't even know about JUCO D2 or JUCO D3. And you would ask, hey, what is that? And it's time to start bringing that to the forefront so you guys can understand and have other options, so you don't limit yourself to, oh, I'm only going here, or else. You got to find the right fit. So that's going to wrap up the show for tonight. I thought it was a great quality educational show. I thank you guys for listening as well. We're just going to keep moving in the right direction. And you guys have to forgive me. We talked so long, we didn't really get a chance to get into our unsigned players, and it's getting towards those times where we got to get those players the right recognition. But I mean, Coach from Loyola knocked it out the park. We went about 20, 25, 30 minutes over, but I thought people need to hear what she had to say, because she just spoke so eloquently. And, like I said, Dre was like, where I sign up at. I'm thinking the same thing. If I had a daughter, I'm like, oh no, you're going here. This is a program you need to consider, and maybe not go here, but it would be a program you need to consider, because, not only is she saying all the right things, she's standing for the right things as well. So that's going to wrap up the show for tonight. I want to thank you guys for coming on as always. Next week we got a really good show planned, and in 2 weeks we got that fire coming for 2 weeks. So the next 2 weeks, definitely pay attention. We're going to start bringing on some of the tournament directors for some of these upcoming JUCO showcases and for some of these high school showcases and post-grad jamborees as well. So stay tuned to that, and we'll talk to you guys next week at 7 o'clock. Thank you for checking out the show.